Welcome to I'm Too Busy, an interview-based show hosted by a talented makeup artist, Christina Flach. Christina offers viewers a unique blend of personal stories, inspiring journeys, and practical beauty tips. Join the conversation as Christina features successful individuals from various industries who share their insights on health, wellness, makeup, and the keys to their success. So now, please welcome the host of I'm Too Busy, Christina Flach.
Hello, I am Christina Flach, and I'm Too Busy, and I am so excited for you to meet my dear friend, Vern Glenn. He's a veteran sports broadcaster with over 39 years of experience in local television sports. He's currently working in the San Francisco Bay Area, where he's been since 1990. First, he was on KRON and then KPIX since 2012. Vern is a 5-time Emmy Award winner for Best Sportscaster and has been inducted into the NATAS Silver Circle Hall of Fame. He's known for his high energy, informative reporting, and awareness of what viewers want. He is also Mr. Involvement. Please meet Vern Glenn.
I've been told I got a high motor.
The two of us, right? I am so
That's right.
excited that you're here today. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to tell my Christina Flach story because I know nothing about makeup. So what you just let me know, and I will reveal the story.
Okay, you're so funny. So Vern and I have been friends for a very long time because our sons, Nikolai and Jake, are like brothers. They've been best friends since they were really young. And so Vern is a member of my family and I'm a member of his. So it's really fun to be chatting with him today. So Vern, you've been in local TV sports for over 39 years. What keeps you passionate about doing what you do after all this time?
I think you hit it right on the head. It's the passion that I have. I've wanted to do this since the 10th grade. That's when I figured it out. I didn't want to be a doctor, didn't want to be a lawyer, didn't want to be a finance guy. I just wanted to be a local TV sportscaster. It's all I talked about. It's all I wrote about. In fact, I can remember going back to the 10th grade. I'm in the lunchroom. We're debating something sports related. The headmaster of the school comes by and he goes, "Yeah, talk about academics." And I just kind of like waved him off. But hey, it was all that there was for me. And so by the time I got to the University of Virginia, I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Well, tell me what your journey was like, starting in Virginia and going to university and going through this. Like, how did you get to where you are now? I mean, we both know that none of our careers do not happen overnight. It's so much stuff to get to this place.
This was way before cable, way before the digital age. These were the times, hey, kids, we actually had to go to the library and actually look up like a reference number to find the book that you needed to check it out. It was like that. And sometimes you'd have to get up, go over to the TV and actually turn the knob and change the channel. So I go back. I go back to those days. Absolutely. So I figured out, okay, I wanted to be a sportscaster. This is 1978. So I got out of high school in 1980, went to the University of Virginia, immediately majored in broadcast journalism. And then I took all the classes that I possibly could to get my bachelor degree in broadcast journalism. And I did in 1984. So then, okay, well, I've got this degree. I've got some experience from internships. When is somebody going to give me a chance? When is somebody going to open the door for me? Didn't work that way. You had to like pound the pavement, knock on doors, talk to people, get in front of people. You didn't hide behind these cell phones. But so
yes.
But I finally got somebody to listen to me and saw the urgency and the passion.
The want
and wanted the passion that this guy quit this local TV station, went to a larger market, and all of a sudden this station needed a guy for 25 hours a week to come in, do the weekends. And so I auditioned for this job. I got it. I quit my sales job on a Thursday. Friday, I did some laundry. And then that Saturday, April 13th, 1985 was the first time I was on the air. WXEX
You're
TV8 Live Eyewitness News.
And how terrified were you that first time on live TV?
Took an extra pair of pants with me just in case I messed up the first ones, because I'm in front of my friends and family. This is my hometown that actually got this break. And so, but these were back in the days, Christina, where you were so obsessed with not making a mistake. Mistakes is all you made. Fortunately for me, it was a small enough market where you could make a mistake without it hurting your credibility. You couldn't come to San Francisco and just start barking out wrong names, streets, stuff like that. I mean, your credibility is gone. But you could do it when you're just kind of getting started. I remember I would take hate calls from viewers. Yeah, this Vern Glenn guy, God, he's horrible. Thank you, I'll tell him. And I would hang up the phone. So those stories are actual true stories. As like anything else, Christina, you keep doing it and then doing it again. You begin to get a little confidence, a little rhythm in what you're doing, because you got it up here, but it's got to translate out of your mouth to really kind of communicate. And so it took a little while to do that. But once I did, sky was the limit. I remember sending some of my stuff to a sports guy in Washington, D.C. that I'd interned for, and he happened to have an agent, and he was in his agent's office, and he says, hey, I got a tape of this kid. So the agent puts it in, and I said a couple of stupid things. The agent laughed. Next thing I know, I got this agent on the phone with me telling me all the agent stuff. Kid, try it with me. We'll take you places. I'll get you out of there. All the agent speak talk. And so that's really kind of what happened. I signed with this agency. It was NS Beanstalk. It's now something else. It's now like Heart Talent or something like. Anyway, I signed with them. Next thing I knew, I left Richmond, Virginia. I was in Baltimore, Maryland. And just when I thought I was going to get some pretty good traction in Baltimore, same agent. Hey, kid, I've got several clients at KRON, the NBC affiliate in San Francisco, and I showed them some of your stuff. They really like you. I think they're going to make an offer. Boom! The offer comes. January 1990, I'm at KRON. Came in here with a 3-year contract, a 3-year plan, because I didn't really understand this whole tree-hugging, hot-tubbing, left coast ideology. But my first Christmas in San Francisco, Christina, I was living on Fillmore between Jackson and Pacific. And it was a day just like today. Blue skies, temperature in the 70s. And I said, you know what? I'm not going back. Because had I been in Baltimore, I would have, de-iced the windshield. I would have put my underwear under the electric blanket while I showered. I didn't have to do any of that. None of that here. So I stuck around, and then I started courting a young lady that's now my wife. And then yada, 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 as they say, 3 kids later, here I am in Marin County.
Wow, what a tale. I mean, so now you've got this family, you've got this dream job. Like what bumps occurred along the way? Because there always are, and there are fun bumps and some aren't such fun bumps. What was like the hardest, most challenging part? Like, I'm sure when the kids were really little, it would have been really hard.
Well, I mean, it wasn't so much that. It was the change in the business as we went from the analog age into the digital age. When the digital age hit, none of us saw this coming. All of a sudden, you could hire one person to do the job of 3 and lay off the other 2. And so all this stuff was happening before our very eyes. You actually had cameramen in the studio operating the cameras. Today, these cameras are robotic, run by a joystick in the control room. So all these jobs started Starlink, and then instead of tapes then became files. So all this stuff was changing, and then salaries were dropping too. All of a sudden, all of the legendary sports people in every single major market, Bob Lobel, Gary Radnich, you name the market, these 7-figure salaries started going away, and these stations were doing more with less. And I just got caught in the undertow, and I've been able to kind of keep my head above water and kind of tread, lightly. But my first 10 years here in the Bay Area, just great. Since then, you've had to kind of roll with the punches because we are in this digital age. So that's been tough. That, and the the anxious moments when contract cycles came around and you had to kind of sing for your supper to try and renew. But hey, I've been lucky. I have really really been lucky. Almost 35 years in one market.
Yeah, that's remarkable. So you were the first sports MMU in the Bay Area. How has the role of sports journalists evolved and changed? I know you were just speaking of that, but I mean, does the teams, like how they're doing, affect your job? Does it make it easier if the Warriors are winning or if the 49ers win or lose? Does any of that affect what you do?
Well, San Francisco's an event city. Everybody likes a winner. This is a kind of a here's the bandwagon, jump on. This team is winning, and when the team's not winning, you get crickets. So that's the kind of market this is, as opposed to say like Chicago. No matter what the Cubs do, no matter what the Bulls do, no matter what the White Sox do, those crowds are going to show up, win or lose. But here in this Bay Area, you got to have stars and you got to have a winner, because if you don't have either one of those, then you're going to have some issues. Now, for me in our business, let me give you an example. When I first started, I had a cameraman and I had a sound man. I didn't have to touch anything. All I had to worry about was telling a good story, crafting a good story. Now, Christina, you're looking at the cameraman. You're looking at the sound man. You're looking at the talent. You're looking at the producer. You're looking at the writer. You're looking at the editor. All in one. You have to have that skill set. And when I go to career days and I explain that, the jaws drop, because all these kids watching, they just know ESPN. They just think, oh, right. Well, I just have an army of producers and just step in front of the cameras and then, hey, hello. But at the local TV level, doesn't work that way. You have to do everything. You have to have the skill set to do everything. I'll tell you a quick story. I'm full of stories. When Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California, this is right when Kron at the time switched to the one-man band MMJ system. So Schwarzenegger calls a press conference. It's in Sacramento. Everybody went. Every electronic media went to this press conference. Traditional two-man crews, reporter, cameraman. That's the way it was. So we sent an MMJ to cover that. Arnold comes out and he looks at everybody and he sees his reporter struggling with the camera and the tripod. And he looks at her and he says, "Is this a screwed project?" She was mortified. Absolutely, in front of everybody.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So that was the early days. Now, every station has MMJs. They have at least one news one. For sports, we all have them, and it's just out of necessity. I have gear. The guy I work with, Matt Lively, he has gear. So that's two cameras that we have. So without even having to even bother news for a camera. So we have us two, and then we have a traditional sports shooter that works with us. For example, like in Vegas, I was just in Vegas doing the 49er Raider game, and it was all live, and so you had to have a cameraman for that. But you better have that skill set. You know, don't show up to a station and just go, okay, I'm ready to get my hair and makeup done, and just tell the crew to hold on, and I'll be right in the truck. Doesn't work that way.
So talk to us a little bit about being in Vegas with those two teams. You and I were both there for the Super Bowl this year, which was
6 months
exciting.
ago.
Gosh,
yeah, 6 months ago. Yeah, that was I was standing in the very spot where I was doing live shots at one end, pretty much doing a eulogy for the 49ers. Where at the other end, there's Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs at the other end zone. But this time it was a little bit more enjoyable because I still know a lot of guys connected with the Las Vegas Raiders. So it was good seeing them and getting reconnected with them. And then the 49ers, I mean, we're with them just about every day. If somebody sneezes, we have to report it. That's how much the 49ers drive the bus in this market.
So what do you think is going to happen? Are you confident they're going to get to another Super Bowl place this year?
This year was about the 49ers reloading at the skill positions as far as backups, support. The frontline guys are either signed or they're about to be signed. I expect Trent Williams to sign. He's the left tackle. He hates training camp, but he's been around for a million years. I believe he will be fine. I don't think the 49ers can get to the Super Bowl in New Orleans without Brandon Ayuk. They absolutely need him. He's the one person in that receiving core that can stretch the field, and you got to have somebody that can be a deep threat, and Ayuk is definitely it. He knows it. We know it. The 49ers know it. But Ayuk wants some more money. He's under contract. So if the 49ers, if 49ers wanted to, they could be the parent and put Ayuk over their knee and go, you're going to take your $14 million. You're under contract. They're trying to do the good thing. They're trying to give him his value. The numbers I hear are late 20 to 28, 29 million. I know he wants to be in the $30 million a year range, like Justin Jefferson and the rest of those guys. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but the 49ers have serious financial issues, and the 49ers know this is it, Christina. This is the window. I mean, the window was like this. Now it's getting to be more like this. This is it, to kick the door down and finally win it with their core group, because next year they got to pay Brock Purdy, the best bargain in the league. He's not even making $1 million. Mr. Irrelevant, the last
How
person
is that
picked in
even
the draft.
possible? How is that even possible?
Fairy tales can come true.
I hope he gets this.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. He'll be in that $55 million range, probably 45 of it guaranteed. Yeah, Brock Purdy will be fine. But you can't pay everybody. Purdy's contract is up at the end of this year.
Okay. Wow, that's
so this exciting. Is it. Yeah.
So let's just shift sports for a second. What are your thoughts on Klay being traded to Dallas?
I understand why he had to do it. I understand that the Warriors said, hey, look, we can only pay you but so much. I understand Klay feeling left out because while he was waiting for a new contract from the Warriors were trying to improve their roster. They were going after other guys like Paul George. They even gave LeBron James a call. All this stuff was happening, and Klay felt, hey, I sacrificed my Achilles tendon, my knee. I was out for 2 years. I came out. I helped you win a fourth NBA title in the last 8 years, and what about me? So he kind of felt neglected. Yeah, he kind of felt neglected, and I think in his mind, he thought, well, maybe a change of scenery will do me some good. That's kind of the way Klay is, and and so Dallas had a boatload of money, and they were able to give him what he wants. And Dallas is one of the favorites to win the West, and so if Klay wants that elusive ring, he chose Dallas as the way to go, and you can't be mad at him for that.
No, it's going to be interesting to see his chemistry with Luka, don't you think?
Well, I mean, they've practiced together already. I mean, they know it's Luka's team, and then in some ways it's Kyrie Irving's team, and I think Klay just kind of wants to fit in and be that third guy, that third threat. So when there's a screen that's set for him and he gets an open look, he's going to be able to hit that shot. But boy, when he comes back here, November 22nd, whenever it is, man, that will be the hot ticket to get for sure. In fact, I had a golf fundraiser recently, and we gave tickets to that game and put it up for a live auction, and it went for almost $4,000. So wow. It's going to be huge.
Let's talk a little bit about your golf tournament. That was so exciting. Did it go as well as you had expected it to, or?
It far exceeded my expectations. This is the first time I've ever tried anything like this. I've never hosted a fundraiser of any sort. Didn't know what I was doing. Fortunately, I had the help of a few people that were experienced in fundraisers, and I was like a sponge. I went to other people who do this for a living and been doing it for years. Keena Turner of the former 49ers. He's been doing his golf tournament for 29 years. Bob Hammer, another guy whose tournament that I work twice a year, he's been doing his for 20 years. So I was kind of getting insights, getting pointers from them, and maybe kind of taking their blueprint and applying it to mine. And man, Christina, it was just unbelievable. Let me just tell you this. When you have a golf tournament, a full field is 144 players. I had almost 160 players for my event. So yeah. Plus I had celebrities. I had John Taylor. I had Chris Wondolowski of the San Jose Earthquakes. I had a bunch of celebrities that were also playing in this tournament. So I had a full field, which was great. It's a great problem to have. And then I had another 220 showing up for just the dinner, the roast, and the actual fundraising part of it later in the afternoon at 5. It was so big, the club had to move it outside because they just couldn't accommodate 220 people in the ballroom where it was originally planned. So it was it was unbelievable. It came off great. Everybody was in a great mood. There was an article in our local newspaper that came out, a nice write up on it. So it came out great, and we're in the beginning stages of talking about another one in 2025. We will see.
So what great advice did those guys give you that surprised you?
Keena Turner told me to stay out of it. There was no way I was going to do that. And Bob Hammer said, hey, whatever you do, you make sure that you go around and you thank every golfer that plays, everybody that attends. You thank the sponsors, you thank the merchants. You drive around that golf cart like you're Bob Hope. Google him, kids, if you've never heard of him. But anyway, yeah, just kind of being the ambassador of it and just making sure that everybody has a good time. You want people to go back to their car at the end of the day and go, man, that was a good time. What's he got planned for next year?
That's so great. So how do you balance all the various aspects of your job with your life? How do you keep balance in your life? Or do you have balance in your life?
Well, the name of the show is I'm Too Busy, right? Man,
you got to talk a little bit about your busy life. You're a person I know.
Well, Christina, you and I we're a couple of grinders. I mean, all we do is work. I mean, we're just running around, running. And I'm one of those guys that takes this passion and really puts maybe too much work in it. But I can't stop. I can't stay away. I mean, the morning hits. I do whatever honeydew chores that I can do for my wife, who's off camera here, who's listening, and
hi, Nicole.
And once I do that, it's she's saying hi. She's waving. All right, so so there's that, and then you got to be a dad. You got to tend to the kids, and then you've got kind of what pays for the roof over your head, and so it is a tightrope that you walk. I mean, it is really, really, really hard, because in order to really be good at this job, it doesn't take some of you, it takes all of you. You can't cut corners, you can't take shortcuts, you can't cheat the grind, because the grind always knows how hard you're working.
It's true. It's absolutely true. We are going to take a commercial break, and we are going to come back with Vern Glenn and chat more sports. I'm Christina Flach, and I'm Too Busy.
Mike Zoric, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorick, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorick has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hello, welcome back to I'm Too Busy, and we are going to continue our chat with Vern Glenn and all things sports. So, who's been the biggest influence in your life, sports, and with your career?
Well, it's a lot of guys you probably never heard of. Ken Strayhorn, who I grew up watching and later worked with. Gil Tyree, who I also worked with. This is at my first TV job. Then I went to Baltimore and I worked with a guy by the name of Vince Bagley, who was the dean of sports in Baltimore. So anytime you work with guys like that, you get instant credibility, and you watch how they go about their business, how they formulate a sportscast, and you just kind of learn and just watch what they do. Chris Thomas is another one. It's another guy you never heard of, but he was also very, very prevalent in the Baltimore scene. And then when I got to San Francisco, it's always been Gary Radnich. Gary was my mentor. He was my protector. He gave me instant credibility. He built me up. He would give me constant constructive criticism in what I was doing and just kind of how to be a sportscaster. He's the first one that really just kind of said, hey, you know what? Whenever you go to these TV stations, the first thing you need to do is go to the traffic department and go. Everybody does the research and find out who is your audience, who's watching, what's the demographic, and once you find that out, then you can formulate your sportscast, because the sports is kind of that's the only time in a newscast where you can really kind of show personality. So once you figure that out, you can kind of gear your sports toward that. For example, the KPIX audience, the Cron audience, the KGO audience, the audience here in this market and local TV skews old, meaning 55 and up. 70 is like you get that audience 65 and up. Yeah, I mean that's the benchmark. That's who's watching, those people, and usually it's women that, I mean, they have a thirst for news gathering, so they are watching, and so you're not going to get the ESPN audience, so you can't give the defensive breakdowns of the third line change of the San Jose Sharks. Otherwise you'll lose your audience. They'll be like, what? But if you show somebody running to first base and their pants fall down around the ankles before they get there and show that's funny. And so you want to make it entertaining, but you want to give the information at the same time. We are in the entertainment business. In sports, that is the time to do it.
So you carry the scouting mantra.
But now here's the funny part. Now I'm the old guy.
Isn't that
now I'm
funny
the old
how
guy,
that shifts?
and I'm surrounded by kids that are like, I'm like, kids, gather at my feet as I regale you with this story and that story. So it just seems like that. I once was the young guy, and now I'm the old guy.
So, what advice do you give up and coming sports reporters? Like, what advice would you give them if they were starting out in this career?
Well, it goes back to the not cut corners thing. I mean, if you want to be a top person, you kind of have to be on top of it. It has to be your number one focus. You can't be talking about, oh, hey man, this weekend I'm going to go to Vegas with the boys. No, 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 no.
So,
Yeah, I was
finish what
saying,
you were saying.
Christina, I tell these young kids all the time to just, hey, be yourself. Yeah, I tell these kids all the time, be yourself, come in, work hard, don't take shortcuts, and have a passion for what you're doing, because these are going to be long days. Sometimes I'll come in at 5 in the morning just to finish a shoot, or set up a shoot, or finish an edit or something like that. Sometimes I'll do 12-hour days. Some days I'll get away with maybe 8. But you just have to give of yourself, because if you cheat yourself, then the whole product will just fail. I mean, I don't take a lot of vacations. I don't take sick days. I think I've taken one sick day my entire time in this Bay Area, and that was when I was a cron, and that was the late 1990s. So I don't I get 5 weeks a year vacation. I'm lucky if I take 2. So because the rest of it is just it's just dedicated to everything else, the events that are going on in the Bay Area. That I just cannot miss. So
What season is the most
that's
like
just kind of the way
busy for you?
that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah. So, what do you
Well,
find to
you
be
know,
like
in in
most
in in, in
time-consuming?
January,
NBA?
February, I'll tell you, in January, February, you've got the NFL playoffs, and then hopefully
Right.
the Super Bowl, and then in March you've got spring training, baseball spring training in Arizona. So can't take any vacation then. Then in April, hopefully your NBA team makes the playoffs mid-April, so that's when the playoffs start, and so you're around for as long as your team is alive. And the Warriors, and they usually go at least into June. Last year they went into May for the first time in a long time before that season was over. So there's all those months where people would just take their vacations and go to Mexico or Hawaii, whatever. No, not when we're in season, when you got to follow the local team.
What are your thoughts on the WNBA, the success that these amazing athletes are having?
Absolutely love it. Jennifer Frazee is one of my best friends. She works for the Las Vegas Aces, and I just love everything that their brand is doing. They didn't try to bite off too much, and they it's been a slow build, and I think the greatest thing to ever happen to that league are these young kids that are coming in, especially Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, she's just more than a scorer. I mean, she's great in assists. She's great at she's better at her defense. Um, and there's so many other stars out there. Sabrina Ionescu, who grew up locally here. It's just they're just so exciting to watch. There's no half court game. No, they're flying up and down the court, and it's exciting. I just can't wait for the Bay Area team, the Valkyries, that'll start next year, because that Chase Center is going to sell out, especially when the Anna Fever come in here.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So let's talk about some other sports for a minute. Where are you loving on golf right now? Are you spending a lot of time on that? You know I have a soft spot for golf.
No, it's oh yes, yeah, yes, and indeed you do. Our high season for golf is usually in February, when the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am hits, because we cover that, and
And that's a
we
great event
also
every
go up
year.
to yeah, and we also go to Tahoe in July and cover the American Century Championships, which Steph Curry won last year. So those are the two that we cover, outside of the major championships that always seem to fall at the Olympic Club or Pebble Beach, or Harding Park. They're also known to host a lot of high level events. So, but right now it's kind of a we're kind of in the down year, and then in golf professionally they're in the playoffs anyway. So things are kind of winding down there, and it's a good thing because nothing is bigger than the NFL, and you don't want to have a brand that's going up against that.
That's true. So, what other things do you have going on in your life that you're excited about besides all your sports? Where does your soul live? What brings you joy in your personal life?
Driving home every day and getting out of the car where I just automatically relax, knowing that I'm going to have a glass of wine in my hand, and within moments of walking in the door at 12:30 in the morning, which is when I'm usually home. And just I mean, you're a parent, you know. I mean, just having peace of mind that that your kids are wired and destined to do great things. I've got a law student, Christina, a law student
I know.
who
I'm so proud of
who's
Jake.
passionate about it.
Do you think-
I've got a biomedical engineer major at Cal Poly SLO, and he's excited about building stuff and what the next big project's going to be. And then I've got my oldest kid who wants to have his own business in web design. He also models a little bit on the side, but web design and helping other businesses kind of get off the ground. That's what he is passionate about, and so I share in their joy, and me and Nicole are comforted the fact that they're grinders too. They're developing their own path, and they're like workaholics each and every day, just like Nicole and I are. And so I'm proud of that.
Well, that's something that they've witnessed. It's not something that you can tell them to do. They just see it. So what's the best advice do you think that you've given your kids that you feel really strongly about?
Treat people the way you want to be treated. Have a degree of respect for everybody that you meet. Know that everybody that you meet is going through something you know nothing about, and just there's just no substitute for working hard. I mean, there are some kids that are trust fund kids. Good for them, but there's no trust fund kids coming out of the Glenn house. You got to work for everything you got.
That's true. Who's your dream interview? Have you had your dream interview?
Oof. I think I have. I've had a few.
Really? Who was it?
Getting to know, meet, and interview Willie Mays. That's a story in itself. How I met him. Hank Aaron, Julius Erving, Wayne Gretzky, Montana, Young, Johnny Unitas. I mean, just meeting these guys that were like your bona fide. Jim Brown. When I met Jim Brown, I got all weak in the knees when I met him. He's the greatest football player and greatest lacrosse player that ever lived. A lot of people don't know he was a great lacrosse player at Syracuse.
I did not know that.
But meeting these people, oh yeah. They changed the rules because of Jim Brown. He was a midi, and he was an attackman at Syracuse in the 1950s. And he would take his stick, and he would strap it to his arm, and he would take the ball and he would have it like this. And I mean, Jim Brown is like 6'5", 2 something. You're not going to stop him. So he would just plow through you until he got to the net, and then he would take his shot. Now they had to change the rules because of that. But Jim Brown was great. He was great. He was awesome. I met him on the red carpet on NFL Honors Night a few years ago for like the third or fourth time in my life, and he just a larger than life guy. And then with Hank Aaron, I met him in 1992, April 92. He was in town to give Barry Bonds his MVP award, This was at Candlestick Park. I was doing a live shot. He was my guest. And if you look at the interview, it'll look like, hey, I'm all cool, calm, and collected, asking him questions, telling me stories about the hardest ball he ever hit was at Candlestick Park, and it didn't go out because it was open air at the time, and so the wind knocked it back in. But on the inside, I'm like, hey, man, this is Hank Aaron. I'm just going out of my mind. And then with Willie Mays, I was playing in a Joe Montana golf tournament in 1992. I'm sizing up a shot in the middle of the fairway, thinking, okay, I'm going to be, Sergio Garcia and just kind of like line it up and watch the waggle and, be all weighted, ready for this swing. And then there's a voice that came from behind me going, hey, Pee-wee. I look, and the guy says, hit the ball. I didn't know it was Willie Mays at the time, but I found out it was him. And then I found him after the tournament and we laughed about it. And then from that point on, he called me Pee-wee. When he was serious, he would call me Vernon. Vern, he would call me Vernon when he was serious. But it was just getting to know these guys.
That's the gift with purchase of our job, don't you think?
It's one of those, this is why I do this. Maybe 5-6 moments in my life where I've kind of been in the moment where it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm being in the moment. There's only maybe 5 or 6 times where I've been in the moment where something special has happened. I can remember my first Summer Olympic Games in 2000, my first Super Bowl in 1995, my first World Series in 1990, my first NBA All-Star game. In fact, I played in the Celebrity All-Star game when it was in Oakland. That was really cool. And just meeting these people on the way. I mean, they're just regular folks that are blessed with the ability of being an elite athlete, and just covering them and getting to know them is and some of them that I can call friends is just really pleasing to me, and I'm really, really grateful for it, because you just can't take anything for granted. Knowing I just know that it could be gone.
That's true. You have to be so grateful and enjoy every minute. But it shows in how much joy you have. The passion that it shows on air. And that's really special. You can't fake that. You truly love your job, and that's so exciting. What funny blunders or bloopers have you had that come to mind, in the past with different interviews that you've done? Is there any that you just go, oh my God, I cannot even believe that happened?
I was doing a live shot during Super Bowl 50 week. Most of the events were in San Francisco. So I'm doing a live shot from inside some venue, and there was a woman that just obviously didn't know that I was live. And so I'm talking, I'm projecting, and then she comes into the camera to tell me if I could just kind of keep it down because she can't hear me. She can't hear the speaker. This is live TV. So all I could say was thank you, ma'am, for the kind words. Yes, I'll try and work on that. Live TV, what can you do? I've been on the air. I've been kissed on the air. It was some Giants game. I was live, and then some fan that had a few more of these. She came right over and just planted one right on the cheek, right there, and I thanked her for her passion. And so stuff like that has got to happen. That's pretty cool. And then there's other stuff like you can be on the air, you can be in studio, the microphones craps out, but you just have to kind of keep going. I remember I was doing an end of the game interview in Las Vegas. Josh Dobbs was my guest. The Niner rep is bringing Dobbs over to me. I'm cabled up, and as I'm going toward him, somebody walked behind me, stepped on the cable, and snapped it in half. I had no communication. So a fast-thinking member of the crew put a headset on me and threw a microphone on me, and I was able to do it. So if you're at home, you have no idea what has just happened. But out there, I mean, they're just freaking out.
Oh my gosh!
Speaking of freaking out, here's a Willie Mays story. Okay. 2002 World Series. The Giants are up 5-3 in Game 6. They're on the verge of winning this one. Dusty Baker came out to Russ Ortiz, took the ball, gave Ortiz the ball. this is the seventh inning, and I'm watching it on a monitor with Willie Mays outside of the Giants clubhouse. The clubhouse guys have brought champagne into the clubhouse. They have put the tarp up over the lockers because this was going to happen. The Giants were going to win the World Series. And so I said to Willie, I said, hey, Willie, hey, you want to do a little, do a quick little interview? Just got to get your emotions. I mean, this is going to happen. And he turns to me and he says, Pee Wee, let's just wait. I don't want to jinx anything. Son of a gun, the Angels, they put that little rally monkey up. Somehow they got momentum. They came back. They came back and won that game, and then won Game 7, and they won the World Series. Crazy.
That is
crazy how things happen. Yep.
You never know. We plan and God laughs. You heard that quote?
Yes.
Vern, I can't thank you enough for being here today. I could chat with you forever. You have such great passion, such joy.
I didn't get a chance to tell the Christina Flach story.
Oh, please, let's tell the Christina Flach story.
All right. Now, for those of you out there, I don't know anything about makeup. And when you're in studio, the lights are hot and lighting is your friend. And now that we have these 4K screens, they can expose every imperfection of your skin. So I don't know anything about it. So I call Christina. I go, Christina, I need powder. I need foundation. She goes, no problem. Go to Macy's. Go to this counter. So I go to Macy's. It's all set up. It's all waiting for me. Remember that? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
And I've been fine ever since.
Oh, well, that's so good. I love that I'm a little bit of your everyday makeup routine.
Pretty girl makeup.
That's right. Thank you so much for being on I'm Too Busy. And you are too busy, and so am I. And thank you so much. And I will see you next week.
This has been I'm Too Busy with host Christina Flach. Tune in each week as Christina approaches the concept of success holistically, recognizing that achievement is not solely measured by financial triumphs, but also by maintaining a healthy work-life balance and focusing on self-care. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios.